Very well. My names are Musa Dikko. If you want to put attachments, Sadolnang Metama, former chairman, Bwari Area Council, and presently special assistant on community matters to the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. I want to believe that a lot of things have changed because the present chairman is not Musa Dikko again. It's Honorable John Gabaya. That is the first change. And a lot of things have changed in the sense that I was chairman under the platform of the All Progressive Congress, and the present chairman is under the platform of the People's Democratic Party. I want to believe that some few things have changed, if not much more. The entire residents of Bwari Area Council don't see their chairman again on the street controlling traffic. And I want to believe that the residents of Bwari Area Council don't see their chairman again, ensuring that refuse are evacuated from our streets. And I want to believe that, yes, the people of Bwari Area Council know very well that they had a chairman between 2016 to 2019. I don't know if they believe and understand that, yes, something has changed. But I think something has changed. Well, quality leadership is difficult today to have because the minds of leaders in today's era is centered on what they will benefit from. Quality leadership should be where a leader focus on what the people will benefit from, focus on what kind of development he will bring to the society where he comes from. A leader who can be assessed at any given time. A leader that sometimes you will need to find out, is he actually the leader? Not a leader who comes out to say, I am the leader. There are so many things that will make quality leadership. A leader who will always try to ensure that his own personal interest does not surpass the public interest. A leader that wants to see a well-organized society with at least adequate provisions of infrastructure, particularly those infrastructures that will bring about revenue generation in a society where he comes from, so that such society can sustain itself without external support 100%. To get quality leadership, it must come from a leader who is God-fearing, who loves his people, not his people loving him. In fact, there is no one that can actually give account of exactly what quality leadership should be because such qualities are enormous. But paramountly, the fear of God. The fear of God. Though sometimes I sound differently when it comes to empowerment. What is empowerment? What form of empowerment? Is it monetary empowerment? Is it educational empowerment? Is it economic empowerment? Or what form of empowerment? But I always tell the youth that, look, the first empowerment you can get is your own personal empowerment. You must empower your mind to the fact that you want to do something and become somebody in the future. And if possible, presently. I expect the youth to take a stand and say, I am a youth that want to be better than what I am today, tomorrow. But most time, our slogan has been youth leaders of tomorrow. And I think we're getting it wrong, because if the youths are to continuously remain leaders of tomorrow, then we should wait for those children that will be giving birth to tomorrow. Otherwise, leaders of today. But in the general terms, the word empowerment as it applies or as it implies in Nigeria, I think the youth have not been adequately empowered to take up leadership. Even though, in my own opinion, I believe that it is the youth that left leadership. And I will cite one example with our elder statesman today, General Yakubu Gowon. Record shows when he became the head of state of Nigeria, he was a youth because he was below 40 years. Record shows that our elder statesman today, Honorable Audu Ogbe, when he became minister, he was less than 40 years. And you check the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Tafawa Balewas. At what age were they? At the youthful age. So I will sometimes sound to say the youth were actually leading this country or this continent of Africa, particularly Nigeria, until probably out of ignorance. And what I mean here is probably the youth didn't realize that they were youths leading this country or continent. And they backslided. And because the elderly ones wouldn't want to see a complete leadership failure or collapse, it took over. And it has been difficult for the elders today that are in power or in position of authority to adequately mentor the youths to take over again. So I will be charging the youths to realize, going through history, that look, the power or authority or whatever function that has been carried out in the past in governance has actually been done by the youths. So the youth don't even need to wait for anybody to empower them. God has naturally empowered the youth to take up leadership. Personally, in fact, from my much more youthful days, where I emerged as Bwari Youth Development Association chairman of Maitama community. I think at about 27 years ago, when I came on board, as at the time I started the activities in my community, Maitama, we had no single graduate, not even a diploma graduate. So what I did, together with others, was to ensure that we encourage the youth to go to school, which I believe is the first empowerment anybody can think of for any youth. so that such youth or youths could acquire knowledge and be educated to be able to propel his or herself tomorrow. I remember very well that we have to go to the point of making some individual contributions to pay for WAEC fees and JAM fees of some of our youth that could not afford to register for their WAEC and JAM exams. Today, to God be the glory, such youths have graduated in the last 5, 6, 7 years. On assumption of leadership politically, I still ensure that the youth were encouraged individually to acquire knowledge, to go to school. Even those that were almost out of school, we encouraged them to ensure that they were retained. I remember, I think I cannot remember his name precisely, a boy from Igu community in Bwari Area Council. His case was brought to me by one Ambassador Sylvia Sariki. And I took that case up, immediately paid his school fees. As I speak to you today, he's a graduate. So when we talk about empowerment, I always want to tell you that the first empowerment we should do and we should have is ensuring that we are encouraged to go to school. Though most time people believe that until they are employed, they are not empowered. If you are not knowledgeable, if you are not educated to at least even school start, whatever empowerment you are going to get is like you have not been empowered. Within the community where I came from, which is Metama, I can stand tall today and tell anybody that I have ensured that not less than 6 persons have become councillor or honorable councillor representing our ward today, courtesy of Musa Dikko. I remember one Honorable Abdullahi Zakambonto, aka Abuja, from Kukwaba community. I remember my elder brother, Honorable John Shoko Gaza, aka Smart. I remember one Adamu from Dakwa community. And I could go on. In fact, as a baby civil servant then, I ensured that the little I had, I made sure they emerge winners of their councillorship elections. Some might not see it as empowerment, but I think it formed part of empowerment. So, even as I speak to you today, the councillorship candidate of APC in Kubwa Ward, it was a very hard decision for me to take, but I had no choice. And I took that decision to ensure that he emerged as the candidate of the party in Kubwa Ward. I think that forms empowerment, because politically they are better than they were yesterday. So the ball now is rolling around their courts, because you cannot be empowered continuously. So I believe that yet we have not empowered the youths adequately. That I know. My challenge to the youth is that, of course, you cannot get it all. Yeah. So don't wait for people to empower you. Empower yourself. I wish I have done so much, but I have not done so much. Okay. I believe that I still have the chance of doing much more for myself. And when I say for myself, anybody I am able to help today, I have only helped myself. Because if he or she will no longer come to me to ask for any form of empowerment, I have helped myself. And I think that is one thing that some of us leaders are lacking. Even though some of our youths believe that until you give them physical cash, you have not empowered them. It is unfortunate that the Gbagi culture and values, particularly in the Federal Capital Territory today, is fizzling out. Because everything about Gbagis today are done the other way around. If you want a plate or a dish you want to use in eating, the Gbagis in their cultural setting, they have it. But it is difficult for a Gbagi man today to use such dish to eat. They'll be telling you, how can I eat from a clay pot or a clay dish? The firewood that were used by Gbagis to cook their delicious meals yesteryears, today, it is no more used by most Gbagis. Because they'll be telling you, no, we have the electric cooker to use. We have the gas cooker to use. Unfortunately, we don't eat what are not well cooked. Because even technologically, charcoal has proved to be one of the best form of either fire you can use to cook your meals. The Gbagis, though somehow the female youths are beginning to realize that no, they are coming from somewhere. Because I think I stand to be corrected. I have seen that the female Gbagi youth today are more upright in ensuring that the Gbagi people are recognized, the Gbagi people are noticed wherever they are. We need to really stand up once again. I remember when I was chairman Gbagi Youth Development Association of Bwari Area Council entirely. Between 2007 2008, we organized Gbagi cultural festivals that showcased those Gbagi cultures and values. In fact, we have to bring in some artifacts for our younger ones to see. And we made sure that our Gbagi stakeholders from Nasarawa, Kaduna, in neighboring states, in fact, witnessed it. The late Sagbagi of Kaduna was present in 2007. Commissioner for, I think, Information and Culture, Nasarawa State then, was present in 2007. The former Minister of, I think, Power, Bwari, was present in 2007, and subsequently we came on board. Our mission was just to ensure that we promote Gbagi culture. Gbagi culture has potential for tourism development in FCT. Gbagi culture and value have helped showcase the Nigerian nation. If you remember our mommy, our aunt, our sister, the late Lady Kwali of blessed memory, I think in one of our Naira notes, you still find her portrait today. So I think the traditional institutions need to realize that their culture of the Gbagis is what has brought them to the stool of being traditional rulers. And they should encourage competitions among the Gbagis culturally within the Federal Capital Territory. Our area council chairman should also see it as a challenge and ensure that cultural festivals within the area councils are organized. It might not be centered on the Gbagi culture, but I think paramountly in every area council you will find out that the Gbagi culture will be standing more because the Gbagis are more populated in the Federal Capital Territory. If you go to the roundabout of Bwari, if you are coming from Kaduna, coming into Bwari, before you get into Bwari Market, you will find a Gbagi sculpture. When I became chairman of Bwari Area Council, I ensured that that was established there. Why? To showcase the Gbagi culture, to showcase the African culture, particularly in the FCT. So I want to really say the Gbagi culture and value must be revisited thoroughly to ensure that every Gbagi speaking person is identified always as a Gbagi person. That is why I commend the Gbagi females youth in the Federal Capital Territory. From what I see today in the social media, I see the way they appear, I see their form of dresses, and I am very, very much happy about that. They showcase the Gbagi dressing more than even the men or the boys. So I think it's one measure or is one form of improving the cultural looks of Gbagi people in the Federal Capital Territory. And with doing that, the values, particularly what has to do with the dialect. I am happy once again that the Gbagi youth today speak Gbagi as if they are speaking the English that we have learned today. I wish we can form Gbagi speaking club where we meet to speak purely Gbagi, and organize shows that will be seen to be pure Gbagi, so that those values of Gbagi people can be seen to have been improved. But generally, I think so far so good. We have rediscovered ourselves. We need to do more. Yeah, the traditional class, the traditional institutions have a very big role to ensure that within our communities, activities that has to do with culture are organized for our upcoming youth to know and understand them. Because, for instance, today I am living within an estate development area. My children will find it difficult to see a Gbagi woman pass by with a firewood on her shoulder. But within Kubwa village, you could still find things of this nature. So within our village settings, while we take the challenge of urban development or renewal, we should as well ensure that our cultural sites are not completely destroyed or removed, so that we could have where to teach ourselves, particularly the children. That's why I'm happy about Wishafa Poetry Center. it still exists. And you could see Bwari women still making their pots within that setting. So it won't be out of place if in Bwari Area Council today, for instance, there is a site where the Bwaris could still practice their pot makings with clay and cut across the 6 area councils. So I think if these measures or factors are put in place, we'll be there again. There is a place in Wuse too. In fact, it's one area today I visit. It is named Village Chief. When you go there, it's right behind, I think, Transcorp Hilton. I want to believe they're either from the south-south zone or so. If you go there, you don't eat any meal that is not on a clay pot or dish. If I see them serving palm wine, and such is not served on a glass cup or on a glass, it is served on a normal calabash, the African calabash. And I feel impressed that look, these people are showcasing culture. So if they can showcase African culture within the Federal Capital Territory, people from the south-south, from the southeast, that have come to settle in the FCT, what more of the inhabitants of the FCT themselves? What are they doing to show that, yes, here is our heritage? So I think I will still hinge it to the traditional institutions and by extension the area councils, where they are led by the inhabitants of the Federal Capital Territory, and 75% the Bwari's, because Bwari Area Council is headed by a Bwari person. Bwari Area Council is headed by a Bwari person. Gwagwalada is headed by a Bwari person. And I think with these 3 out of 6, they can do something to improve and showcase the culture of the Bwari's in the Federal Capital Territory. And they will not be going out of their ways. They will be on the very right path. Well, the only reason that has actually tampered with the unity of this nation is insecurity. Because I remember before the issue of Boko Haram and the rest of it came, there used to be Calabar carnivals. At a point there was FCT Carnival, where cultural activities were carried out by different ethnic groups within the Federal Capital Territory and by extension the 36 states of the Federation. That used to be a powerful tool to galvanize Nigerians into being one. That used to be a very wonderful way of showcasing our different diverse culture here in Nigeria. And it is very powerful in bringing tourism, development, bringing about economic empowerment, bringing stability in our polity, Because if you cannot mingle together, certainly there is no way you can have unity. So with those activities in the past, I remember when I attended one, I think, Pusdum in Plateau State some years back, I felt like not coming back to Abuja because the cultural activities I saw was wonderful, that you don't differentiate between Magamun and a gas person in that festival. You see them as one Plateau people. So my prayer will be, may God help us to overcome the insecurity in this country so that once again we can enjoy our cultural festivals and activities that brings about unity in diverse culture. But it's really unfortunate in our present situation, and you can't blame any traditional leader at this time for not organizing cultural activities in his domain. You can't even blame government at this time for not promoting cultural activity within his domain, because the atmosphere, the environment is not safe for people to come together. And most unfortunately, with the COVID that came and took over the world in 2020, it has been so difficult for cultural activities to take place these days. But Africa is still much more better than even the Western world, Europe in particular. So culture actually is one best form of uniting people. I used to know of someone that does not eat pounded yam. Today, his best meal is pounded yam. Probably because he never knew the value then. My wife is from Plateau State, but I don't think I can compete with her when it comes to taking jepo. In fact, my children, if you keep rice for them with maybe any other material thing that will entice them and keep jepo one side without anything attached, they will forfeit your rice and your material items you have attached to it and go for jepo. So culture is one of the best form of uniting the people, best form of bringing about economic activities, best form of, I don't know, but I think the only thing that can compete with culture is sport. And in that part of sport is football. Because in football you see people becoming one. In culture, that is where you see people becoming one. Wow. I believe very well that the Nigerian youth understand the word entrepreneur. And my word to them is to encourage them. Take the path of becoming an entrepreneur. Because there, you will never think of anybody empowering you. You'll be thinking of empowering somebody. It is one form of economic activity that will catapult you to the next level without knowing. And you will just imagine, how did I arrive here? So entrepreneurship should be taken seriously by the youth. And once again, Nigerian youth will be great, if not greater. My New Year resolution is to become better than what I am today, to be more resolute in my decisions, to be more focused, and above all, God-fearing.